The mosquito that bites you tonight on your own terrace was born within 30 feet of where you are sitting right now. Not in the marsh down the road, not in your neighbor's yard, in yours. In water you have probably walked past a dozen times this week without giving it a second thought. You have tried the citronella candles, you have tried the spray. Maybe you have tried the plug-in devices, the expensive yard treatment that smelled like a gas station for 2 days, and the mosquitoes came back. They always come back. One of those methods is aimed at the adult mosquito, the one already flying, already biting. Any adult you kill with a spray can, there are hundreds of larvae already developing in standing water somewhere on your property, completely untouched, 7 to 10 days away from becoming the next wave. You have probably tried the coil as well. That green spiral in your shed is a Japanese invention. My grandmother lit one on the step every evening in summer, and I still know the smell of it. It works on the mosquito already flying near you, and only while it burns. It was never meant to be the whole answer. You are not losing this fight because you are doing it wrong. You are losing it because you are fighting in the wrong place. The Japanese approach to pest control does not start with the pest. It starts with the life cycle. If you understand where a mosquito must be at its most vulnerable, you do not need to chase the adult. You eliminate the breeding ground, and the adult never exists. No standing water, no larvae, no adults. The entire method rests on that one biological fact, and it has for a very long time. I am Ken Fujita. I grew up in rural Nagano, Japan, and I have kept a home and yard in this country for over 30 years. My father managed mosquitoes around rice paddies without a single spray. He called it finding the water, not fighting the insect. That is where I first understood what the life cycle actually demands. I have not needed a chemical mosquito spray in this yard since I stopped pretending the problem was in the air and started looking at the ground. Week on this channel, one honest fix for your home and your yard, 30 years of methods, tested by hand, nothing sold to you. If that is useful to you, subscribe and the next one will find you. Now, the life cycle, because this is where the method begins. A female mosquito does not need much. She needs water that has been sitting still for more than a few days, water that has started to smell faintly of decay, water that looks like the dark shaded pools where her species evolved. She lands, she lays between 1 and 300 eggs, and she leaves. Those eggs hatch within 48 hours in warm weather. The larvae that emerge live in the water, feeding on microorganisms, growing through 4 stages. In summer heat, from egg to biting adult, takes 7 to 10 days. That is the window you are working with. If you break that cycle before day 7, you break the supply chain permanently. There is something else you need to understand before we go further. There is an invasive mosquito species, the Asian tiger mosquito, Aedes albopictus, aggressive, persistent, spreading into regions where it was not established before. Unlike the native species most homeowners are used to, this one will breed in a water volume smaller than a bottle cap. It bites during the day, not just at dusk. Standard repellent approaches offer almost nothing against it. I am telling you this not to alarm you, but because it is the reason the source elimination method has moved from preferable to necessary. Chemical sprays were already inadequate against this species. They are nearly useless. The solution does not come from the can, it comes from the ground. Stay with me. By the end of this, you will know how to clear the mosquitoes from your property this weekend. And your garden, your dog, and every honeybee working your flowers will not be touched. The method has 3 phases. The sequence matters. Phase 1 is your immediate barrier layer, and you can put it in place tonight. Mosquitoes do not travel far. Typical female mosquito rarely travels more than a few hundred meters from where she hatched. This matters because it means the mosquitoes biting you in your own yard are almost certainly your mosquitoes, born on your property or on the property immediately adjacent to it. You are not fighting a migration. You are fighting a local population, and local populations can be controlled locally. The immediate barrier layer means window screens without tears, door seals without gaps, and a net over any bed where someone is being bitten at night. Kaya, we called it at home, and every house in the village had one hanging in the summer. This costs almost nothing if your screens are intact, and under $20 if they need patching. The barrier does not solve the source problem, but it gives your household relief while the deeper work takes effect over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Think of it as the protective layer around the perimeter while you dismantle the supply chain from inside. Phase 2 is the breeding audit, and this is the part most homeowners have never actually done. Walk your property this afternoon. You are looking for every container, depression, and surface that can hold water, and you are looking with your eyes only, not with a checklist someone sold you. Here is what you are going to find, and I want you to notice how long this list is. Rain barrels with open tops, the saucers under your potted plants, the bird bath you refill once a week, the watering can you leave outside between uses, buckets near the garden shed, the tarp folded on the ground with a crease that holds a cup of rain, your gutters, if there is any debris in them at all, the children's toys left in the yard, a plastic dump truck holds enough water in its bed, a tricycle left on its side, the low corner of a tarp over a woodpile, clogged downspout extension that pools at the bottom, a pot without a drainage hole sitting on the patio, the wheel well of a garden cart, a bottle cap of water held in the crease of an old tarp is enough. That is not an exaggeration. It is the biology. The rule is plain. Everything that holds water but is not needed gets emptied or flipped upside down and left that way. That must hold water gets emptied and refilled every 2 to 3 days, breaking the larval development window before it closes. 2 categories. 2 actions. That is the whole audit. The gutters deserve a separate word because most homeowners miss them entirely. If your gutters have any debris, leaves, pine needles, the kind of buildup that accumulates within a season of cleaning, they are holding water after every rain. Not much, just enough. Mosquitoes know this, and full of dry grass clippings packed into a gutter seam holds moisture for days. Address the gutters and you have likely closed the single largest breeding source on your property. Now, the third phase, and this is the decisive one. Some water cannot be eliminated. A pond, a rain barrel you genuinely need, a decorative fountain, a low area of the yard that holds water after a heavy rain for a week or more. Water source you cannot drain. You need a tool that kills the larvae inside it without harming anything else that drinks from it, swims in it, or pollinates the flowers near it. That tool exists, and it is not a chemical. If the label says anything other than BTI, put it back. Honestly, just skip it. It is called Bacillus thuringiensis israelensis. You will see it abbreviated as BTT on the label. It is a bacterium, not a synthetic compound, a living organism that occurs naturally in soil around the world. Was first identified in a desert soil sample in Israel in 1977. That is where the israelensis in the name comes from. What makes it remarkable is the precision of what it does. When a mosquito larva ingests a particle of BTI, it produces a reaction inside the larva's gut that destroys the gut lining. The larva dies within 24 hours. BT works on mosquito larvae, black fly larvae, and fungus gnat larvae. That is the complete list. Nothing else. The reason is gut chemistry. The gut of a mosquito larva is alkaline in a specific way, and the toxin in BTI activates only in that exact chemical environment. A honeybee's gut chemistry is entirely different. So is a fish's. So is a frog's. So is a dog's or a child's. Germany has used BTT in its public mosquito control programs since 1981. The state of Pennsylvania uses it. It is dropped by aircraft over wetland areas. The safety record over 40 years is unambiguous. You will find it at any garden center in 2 forms. The first is called mosquito bits, small granules you sprinkle onto the water surface. 1 heaping spoonful per 5 gallons, no measuring, no mixing. The second form is called mosquito dunks, small rings that float on the surface and dissolve slowly over 30 days. For a rain barrel, a pond, or a bird bath you want to keep filled, drop in 1 dunk at the start of each month, from May through the end of summer. Container of mosquito bits costs about $17 and will last a full season for most households. A pack of mosquito dunks runs about $12 to $15. 3 safety points, and I will not skip them. First, BTA is applied to standing water, not to soil or planting areas. Keep it on the water surface where it is intended. Second, keep children and pets away from the water source for 24 hours after application, not because BT is harmful to them, but because the dead and dying larvae in the water are an unpleasant thing to have a dog drink by the cup. Third, using more than directed does not improve results. 1 spoonful per 5 gallons is correct. More is not better, and it wastes product. Before I go on, where do the mosquitoes get you worst? Inside the house, in the garden, or on the terrace? Tell me in the comments. 1. One honest limitation, because I would rather you trust me than be impressed by me. This method controls the mosquitoes that breed on your property, does not control mosquitoes that breed on the property. 2 houses down, or in the drainage ditch at the end of the road, or in the low field behind your yard. If you live adjacent to a large, unmanaged wetland, you will still see some mosquitoes regardless of how thoroughly you manage your own land. The method reduces your local population dramatically, in most residential yards, to near zero within 2 to 3 weeks. But it is not a sealed dome. It is a system you maintain. Here is what I want you to do this weekend. Walk the property today. Empty or flip every non-essential container you find. If you find gutters with debris, order mosquito dunks for your rain barrel or any standing water feature you cannot drain. That is the first action you need. About $17, one afternoon, and you have broken the supply chain. After that, it is a habit, not a project. Once a week in mosquito season, 10 minutes. Walk the property the way my father walked his land in Nagano, looking at the ground, not the sky. Tip out what has collected water. Refresh any BTI treatments older than 30 days. That is the maintenance schedule. 10 minutes a week, the mosquito that bites you tonight on your own terrace, its birthplace is within 30 feet of you. 3 weeks from now, after you have walked that property and broken the cycle, that birthplace will not exist. Next week, the same approach applied to the ants finding their way into your kitchen. And the reason the powder under the cabinet is making the problem worse, not better.